Well, it's proof that Star Wars isn't dead. Hey, what's up, guys? Wyldehigh77 here to review something that's not a video game. I've reviewed this in the past in many different podcasts that we have done. My camera angle is way freaking off there. In many of the podcasts that we have done, mainly in Journal of the Jedi and formerly War of the Stars, the Star Wars podcast. Of course, during Realm of the Myths as well, because many of you know I am a huge, huge Star Wars fan. And I have just got done finishing the final episode, Victory and Death, of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now, guys, I've got to talk about this season, because with the cancellation of Clone Wars on Season 5 and then them releasing Season 6 as the lost episodes, it never felt like a complete ending to the Clone Wars, and not the rightful ending to the Clone Wars, the way that the Clone Wars was designed. The TV show, the show was absolutely phenomenal. It's probably one of the best things Star Wars has ever put out since the movies. I'm not going to argue the points of prequel, sequel, original trilogy, just the movies, what brought us to the dance to begin with. Rebels was phenomenal. Resistance was garbage. Mandalorian is phenomenal. But let's be real here. This season of the Clone Wars, with the culmination of Victory and Death, which, by the way, guys, just to let you know now, this episode just came out. It's not even 24 hours old yet. Spoilers, spoiler, 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 spoiler. Do not watch this. Do not. Stop right now. Do not watch this if you do not wish to have it spoiled.
Oh, you fucking twat. We got ourselves a fucking spoiler.
Okay, go watch the episode. Go watch the series if you haven't yet. The final season if you have not yet. It's on Disney Plus. Far be it from me to ever say that there's alternate means, but there are alternate means if you do not wish to subscribe to Disney's subscription channel. You can find it. I believe in you. But watch it, come back, and then we'll discuss it. Okay? You've been warned. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So this season, I felt a little rushed because it was only 12 episodes. And what pissed me off about this season, I'm going to start with the bad because there's so much more good than bad in this season. But the bad was it felt rushed because of the fact they only had 12 episodes to do this with. And then the tack on the fact not only did they only have 12 episodes, but they took 3 episodes following Ahsoka Tano and her adventures in Coruscant 1313 while she was trying to figure out what she wants to do with herself. I could have done without those episodes. They felt like fillers to me. That like they were the disappointing part of this season. To me. And I'm going to go into a lot more detail. I'm supposed to join up with my buddies on another Star Wars podcast. Of course, we'll be implementing that on Realm of the Myths. And of course, I'm going to review it on Journal of the Jedi in a lot more detail as well. But overall, it was my least favorite part of the whole entire series. Season. That being said, I've got to be honest. Those last 4 episodes, this is what Game of Thrones wanted their final season to be. My God, for a cartoon that started off as a cartoon on Cartoon Network. It's meant for kids. My God. following along with the events of Revenge of the Sith, which is dark shit to begin with. But having this is like happening in the background of that, as shit's going on here, it's going on there. Oh my God, it's perfect. It's perfect. There is never any proof to me that Dave Filoni is the right man for Star Wars. Not Kathleen Kennedy, not Bob Iger, nobody else at Disney or Lucasfilm other than Dave Filoni to carry the torch that George Lucas has laid before us. If you want your proof, all you have to do is look at Season 1 of The Mandalorian. You have to look at the season finale, or the series finale of Rebels, and look at the series finale and this whole entire series known as Clone Wars. Dave Filoni is a master at what he does. An absolute master. This final episode where everything culminates, Order 66 has been ordered. We pick up right where the last episode left off. And it's Rex and Ahsoka versus the galaxy. They're trapped on this Star Destroyer, this Republic Destroyer, trying to escape while all the clones are trying to kill her and subsequently Rex for betraying the Order 66. And we lose some droids along the way, some sad shit. Ahsoka's the one that lets Maul go, which explains how he shows up in Solo, along with Sons of Dathomir, of course. It explains how he winds up in Rebels, why he's still a presence within the universe up until the final episode of Rebels. But I'm trying to stay away from too many spoilers because we're going to go into a lot more details on some of the main shows. This is not a Star Wars show. This is a review show. So I try to keep them short and sweet, but just this show was absolutely breathtaking. This final episode was just nonstop action up until the end. And I think the somber note at the end of this episode really culminated everything Clone Wars stood for and really showed that this is what the rejuvenation of Star Wars needed. Like, people, I'm not gonna review Rise of Skywalker because I know it's gonna have people pissed off that I like the film. How do I know that? Look at the backlash I took for Last Jedi. I liked Last Jedi. There's certain things I didn't like about Last Jedi. I stated those things. The people who hated Last Jedi agree with me about those things. But they didn't agree that I have a right to like the other parts. Who knew? So I will not review Rise of Skywalker. In fact, I will not review another Star Wars saga film, which obviously I can't because the Skywalker saga is done. But if they ever do episode 10, 11, and 12, for sake of argument, if they ever decide to do that, which I think it'd be stupid if they don't, eventually, not right away, but eventually, I will not review it. And the reason I will not review it in any way, shape, or form, but other than a continuous continuity story of the whole of Star Wars, how it fits to everything else, because to me the movies themselves are one story broken down into 9 parts, 11 if you want to count Solo and Rebels, Rogue One, which personally I do, but for everybody else it's the episodic movies. So 1 through 9 is one cohesive story told in parts, in acts. So from now on, when I review Star Wars, the live-action films, the episodic saga, it will be in that format. But we're not on that. We're on Clone Wars. And Clone Wars, the somber ending they gave, where, after the Star Destroyer crashed and Ahsoka and Rex survive, and they bury all the clones and give little grave markers with their helmets and everything, and Ahsoka drops her lightsaber, ending her time in this. And I'm not gonna go into major spoilers. There is a book called Ahsoka. It pretty much picks up right where that leaves off, so it explains more into detail what's going on there. I highly recommend you guys go check that book out. It's worth the read. But then we time goes by. Now, this is a subject of contention through a lot of reviewers and content creators that I follow, who have already spoken on the Clone Wars. It's a point of contention of how much time has passed. But eventually, we come back to the planet. It's snowing. It's obviously at least a season change has happened. And then we are focusing on a Lambada-style shuttle, an Imperial shuttle from the original trilogy, landing. And amongst them, the ship landing in the foreground, you see snowtroopers. Not clones, snowtroopers. Followed by seeing full armor in their glory, Imperial stormtroopers. And the ramp lowers, and all you hear is breathing. Vader walks off the ship, walks straight to the wreckage. Now, from this point, this is my reaction to it. This is what I saw. That doesn't mean I'm right. The only one that knows for sure what they saw or what was there is Dave Filoni and the creators of the Clone Wars series. But how I saw this, Vader stops just before the wreckage, just before the memorial, if you will, and he kneels. Now, some people say he kneeled because the lightsaber, but he didn't put his hand down to grab the lightsaber right away. He just knelt. And for a split second, he was on his knee, and that was it. And then he reached down for the lightsaber. In my mind, he was saying goodbye to those clones. Most of those clones were 501st, the original 501st. You know, they're not Vader's fists. That's what he's got now, but they were his. Most of them were under his command. If you remember, in previous episodes of this season, Anakin split the 501st under the command of Captain Rex to make Captain Rex be able to help Ahsoka with the Mandalorian conflict. So majority of those clones that died were 501st clones. They were his soldiers. You know, so that's what I saw. Now, with your own mind and your own mind's eye, you'll see whatever you want to see. It doesn't mean that my opinion's right. Doesn't mean your opinion's right. Just means that's how I took that scene. But then, of course, he lifts up the lightsaber. He realizes it's Ahsoka's, the one that he just gave her a couple days to a couple weeks to a couple months prior, however much time has passed. Signifying to him probably that she's dead. Also in the air is one of those owls that represent the Force sister who gave her life for Ahsoka many seasons ago. So you guys know that story. I think that was all there to sell the fact that Ahsoka was gone. And of course so was Rex, and and Vader now knows that it's over. And I think he has some conflicting theories about it. I don't think he was remorseful. Again, a lot of people think that maybe there was remorse in the look of Vader, just looking up at that owl and holding the lightsaber. I don't. I think there was conflict, absolutely. I think he was sorrowful. He was mournful, to the loss of his Padawan and somebody who was as close as a little sister to him. But he's also, again, depending on how much time has passed, he's also burying Anakin. He's still accepting his fate and role as the now Dark Lord apprentice to Sidious. Pardon me. So, in my mind's eye, I think there was emotional conflict, which has always been Vader's character, has always been his one flaw, is the fact that, Anakin fights to come out of him during his time as the Dark Lord of the Sith. But he just turns, takes the lightsaber with him, by the way, turns and leaves. And that was it. Credits. Folks, it's very few times that I will gush about a cartoon. it's even fewer times that I will gush about the ending of a TV series. I can count on one hand how many TV series has had such a grand finale to such a incredible story arc that I felt the need to spread its word everywhere I go. Quite honestly, the top of the list is Clone Wars. This was the season that series needed. This was the full circle story arc that this series needed. And I think this along with The Mandalorian, is exactly what the franchise of Star Wars needed to kind of help bring back the fan base, to kind of bring balance to the fan base, if you will. Does that mean it's going to fix the future movies? No. Does it mean that Obi-Wan's going to be phenomenal? Well, I think it's going to be phenomenal, but who knows? You know, or any other transitions or whatever? No, of course not. I mean, come on. Even with all the great that the Disney era Star Wars has produced, The Mandalorian, Rogue One, we also got Resistance. So not everything is perfect in the world of Star Wars, but then again, it never really was. But in this instance, this was the perfect ending to, quite honestly and arguably, next to the movies, next to the films, the perfect story in Star Wars. Guys, I don't feel I need to put an arbitrary number on this, but this is the closest to perfection I have seen. In something that serves canon, it stays true to itself and to Star Wars as a whole. It pays homage to the original trilogy, to the prequel trilogy, to the fan bases, and to the love of this franchise. All I could say is, watch it, savor it, and Disney, please release a box set of all 7 seasons. That's it, guys. I'll catch you later. If you like this video in any capacity, hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other great Let's Plays and tabletop content right here at Sounds Dicey Gaming's YouTube channel. And, of course, go to our sister channel, Realm of the Mist Entertainment, for all your podcasting needs. And if you prefer your podcast in audio-only format, you can check out Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard, all of which are linked in the description down below. Guys, may the Force be with you.